Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's doing well. Today I have a special guest. I have Jason Matthews. He is a figure. He is someone who is very distinguished in the development real estate industry. He's an entrepreneur, an investor, and he's also a mentor for many mentees in the real estate industry. So Jason, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on the show today. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to have you today. And before we start, can you share with us a little bit about your experience? You have over 28 years of experience in the industry in Central Florida.
Yeah, I started out as a licensed financial advisor, actually. And my wealthiest clients were going out and doing real estate deals and coming to me and then putting money in their kids' and grandkids' college funds. And I started looking at that and I said, I'm in the wrong business. They're making this, I'm making this. I'm like, something's not right. So I played college basketball at the University of Pittsburgh. So I just started asking, the alumni that were in the real estate industry, how they did it. And one of my best friends, his name is Doug. He had started investing a couple years beforehand, and I asked him, and he really helped, get me started as a real estate investor. So I started like most people. I started with a HUD foreclosure. I bought a HUD
Oh,
foreclosure
really?
for like 25,000. I put like 15,000 into it, sold it, and I received a check for $7,900. And I looked at that check and I was like, this is how I'm going to make a living the rest of my life. So my very first deal, fortunately, was a profitable one. Bought the house, renovated it, sold it, and it was pretty exciting to get that first check. So
That's amazing. And that's very inspiring for anyone that's looking to start in the real estate industry. What inspired you to get into the luxury real estate? I know that's kind of like a niche, right? Not everybody is looking to get into luxury.
it's been a progression. We didn't just, like I said, June of this year will be 29 years. It's a progression. I started out, renovating single family homes. Also, a good friend of mine, Curtis Aiken, he and I owned a commercial construction supply company. So I learned commercial development from being a supplier, not being a developer. So that's a much better way to learn commercial development is being a supplier, not being a labor provider or being the developer. And in Pittsburgh at the time, the Pittsburgh Steelers were building a new football stadium. The Pirates were building a new baseball park, new hospitals, new hotels, new convention centers. So I was really immersed in learning the commercial side of it. So when it came to me being involved with my own deals doing residential, I was pretty much prepared, given the mentors I had and given the projects, the $300 million projects I worked on as a commercial construction supply company.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
what you said, it kind of speaks to me in my construction management career that understanding how supply chain works
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
industry is key because the schedule I mean, it can just change day and night if
Yeah.
we don't understand, right? We don't plan accordingly either.
Right. I mean, so many things can happen, but something that was a real benefit to me is I spent a lot of time with the architects,
Mhm.
working on these $300 million projects, multiple projects of that size at the same time. I was in a lot of meetings with architects and engineers, and I was there just absorbing everything I could, to learn and really be prepared for doing my own deals and doing my own projects. And fortunately, just being exposed at such a young age to the role that, important role that architects play, the important role that your engineers play, various types of engineers, your geotech, your civil, your structural, your mechanical, your electrical, like understanding everyone's role in the process. And I was extremely benefited from that. And I just applied it to smaller projects when I got started as an investor.
So you basically learned the entire scope of project execution from planning all the way till you were able to hand off the key to the new owner, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
And
I learned by the time I was 30 years old, I knew how to build an NFL football stadium. I knew how to build a convention center. I know how to build a Major League Baseball park, a hospital, a hotel. I knew how to build dorms, college dorms, multifamily. Those are the type of cold storage facility for a
Mhm.
large grocery chain. So I knew how to do all those things by the time I was 30 years old because I really paid attention working on these projects as a supplier.
That's amazing. And when did you start your first deal in Florida? How did you have that change between being in Pennsylvania and then coming to Florida, the Sunshine State? I made the same change a couple of years ago.
Big difference. I mean, very, very big difference. I would say took my wife and I probably doing 10 or 12 deals to really get a lay of the land. The
Hmm.
property insurance is different. You know, you have to get flood insurance. Windows are different, requirements. So I would say it took us our first 10 or 12 properties that we bought and renovated to really get a good handle on, the Florida market. In Pennsylvania, most homes have a basement. Well, in Florida, they don't really have a basement.
No.
Um, a lot of people in Florida, convert their garage space to an additional bedroom. So you really have to learn the ins and outs, of the market. But we had some really good people helping us when we first moved here to Tampa, almost 7 years ago. We had some really good people helping us, so we didn't make very many mistakes. Um, we knew which neighborhoods offered the best opportunities. We asked a lot of questions. We always, my wife and I, we always drive the neighborhoods. We always do a walkthrough on a property before we acquire it. So we did our homework before we made the acquisitions.
I love that. And between that transition and then getting into the Tampa Bay area, why did you choose Tampa Bay and not Miami or Orlando? What do you find in this area? I'm curious to see if you find something.
Very, very special story. We are a sports family, and our oldest child, our son Brandon, who's 25, he has a mild form of autism, but he's played basketball since he was real young. He played 4 years of high school basketball, and a good friend of mine was the head coach at University of South Florida. When Brandon was in ninth grade, he got the head coaching job, and he called me up. He said, "Hey, we got some great programs for my nephew on USS campus. Please bring him down so he can check campus out." So 2 months later, Brandon and I came down to Tampa, went to campus. He loved it. And I called my wife and I said, "Well, when he finishes high school, we're moving to Tampa with our two daughters and him. So we have a son and two daughters, and we all moved to Tampa, and he's thriving, and they love him at USF all over campus, and he's in his seventh season as a team manager, and he they do news stories on him and write articles about him. He's known all over the country, and it's really great. It's really great. So that's how we ended up in Tampa. We thank Brandon every day.
That's amazing. Which takes me to my next question about Redington Beach.
Mhm.
This very innovative project that you have. Why Redington Beach? What is the vision
So,
behind this
so
project?
5 years ago, our lead realtor, Alexis Selby, she found a lot of properties for us in Tampa, a lot of properties for us in St. Pete. And
Okay.
she's like, "You got to come and look at this property in Redington Beach. You need to come and look at this today, like right now. I need you to come and look at this."
Okay.
I was like, "Okay, I'll come look at it." So I came and I looked at it, and I was like, I'm not sure, beach, I'm not sure if we're ready to make that transition yet. And she's like, "No, you're buying this property." So I
Oh,
talked
she said that
to
right
her.
on the back.
She was very forceful. So you have to understand, uh, it's close to my grandmother,
Oh,
uh,
really?
close to my mother. I'm married and have two daughters. So I have a lot of women in my life that are pretty relentless and forceful of telling me what to do. So Alexis is like, "You need to come look at this property, and you're going to buy this property for your family." And so talked to our appraiser. our appraiser, Bob Bacon. And I said, Bob, tell me about Redington Beach. Tell me about, he's like, buy everything you can right now and never sell.
Oh, he is that what was,
He
and
should,
how long ago was that advice?
it was 5 years ago.
5 years
Yeah,
ago.
it was March of 2019, February, March of 2019. And he said, never sell, keep it for your kids, for your family, keep it for generations, and you'll do great. And so I really trust Alexis. I really trust Bob. And that's what happened. And that's how we ended up in Redington Beach.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I actually did some research about Redington Beach and just the demand that we have in the future, especially for those properties that are nearby the water. And this is a luxury, a very specific type of property.
Yeah, it is. So with Redington Beach, the nice thing about Redington Beach is it's all residential. So Redington Beach doesn't allow any type of commercial development, not even on Gulf Boulevard. So, you're talking about, roughly 600 homes, and I would estimate maybe 15% are newer construction. So we're not the first, people to come in and build these luxury homes. We may be the first doing multiple, at one time, but we're not the first. There's some beautiful homes currently in Redington Beach, very beautiful homes. So it's a very neighbor-friendly neighborhood. People are out walking their dogs, neighbors talking to one another. Pretty much everyone gets along for the most part. And the other thing that really drew us to Redington Beach is it's one of those communities that allows short-term rentals. So you can actually, if you're in the business of short-term rentals like we are, then you have an opportunity, to use the property as a short-term rental.
And I'm going to share some of the images. I don't know if you were able to see about your project. For instance, let me see. I'm trying to see if we can. Are you able to see an individual type of?
Yeah, I can see some of the renderings we did, and it's going to be 3 stories. And because we're in a flood zone, you're not allowed any living space on the first floor. So you really have your 2-car garage, you have storage, and then you have the area where you walk out to the pool at the back of the home. Beautiful views. You can see the water. I mean, the nice thing about being in the middle of Boca Ciega Bay and the beach is you get water from 2 sides. You get water from both sides. So we're not right on the sand, but we're a 5-minute walk to the beach, 2, 3 blocks, short blocks, 4 or 5 minute walk to the beach. But also on the other side, you have Boca Ciega Bay, so you have water on both sides, which is really beautiful.
And as far as the rental, I feel okay. I think now we're good to go.
Yeah.
So this is a 3-floor house, basically, right?
Yes. 3 stories. Yes.
3 stories, and we have the pool. Is that kind of like the same or similar layout for all the houses you're working on today?
Yes, the 6 that we're building right now all have the same floor plan, and those are 4,000 square feet, and they have 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, and there's a den that can be used as a 6th bedroom because it has a closet. It has 2 living rooms. Beautiful property. When I walk through the property now, each property you can just feel the space and you can feel the warmth. It's a really comfortable home. And at this point, we have the roofs on 3 or 4 of them, 3 of them rather. MEP is being ran right now, and also we have the doors and windows that are going to be installed next week. So it's really starting to feel like a home. Very comfortable home. Yeah, I can feel it already. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 29 years, and I can walk into a house, walk into a property before it's done, and really get the feel of it.
And this is quite a big house. How many square foot are we talking about?
It's 4,000 square feet, and that's just on the upper 2 floors. First floor, you're not allowed to have any living space, so you can't count that. So the second floor and third floor have 2,000 square foot each. So the floor plan is pretty nice size.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the pool. I mean, it's just amazing when I looked at having and then being able to have a short-term rental. I think that's a plus for anyone that's looking to buy for investment or just there is no restrictions at all, right? Because some people, I mean, some communities they do have like maybe a few days, 2 days, 5 days, but this is wide open in terms
Yeah,
of short-term rental.
in Redington Beach currently, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna definitely share more details about this beautiful project. But as far as the challenges that you have been facing, I mean, you are definitely very knowledgeable on the entire construction execution from start to finish. But what about the challenges? Because there is a lot of speculation on the real estate market, especially in Florida.
Mhm.
Even some people might say that we have similar to a bubble, which I don't think is the case. But what is your outlook?
I think that we really benefited um, from being owners, for 4 years before we started, down this path. I think that meant a lot of just getting to know the community, getting to know the neighbors, getting to know the area. I think we're at a real advantage that we were property owners for 4 years before we demolished those existing homes, and I think that made a really big difference, for us. We had secured permits on other properties before we began, these larger properties. So we kind of understood the permitting process. The municipality that approves the permits kind of got to know us from some previous permits that we filed and
Mm,
realized we're trying to do things the right way and not trying to cut corners and things of that nature. So I believe that was an advantage. But I
mm,
would say the biggest advantage is just experience, just experience and going back to what I said previously, being involved in 300, $400 million projects, multiple projects that size at the same time, and being involved in the challenges, of building a football stadium, of building a baseball park, and issues like you said with getting materials. You know, the opening game of the NFL preseason is a real day. You know, Major
mhm,
League Baseball opening day is a real day. You have to be done with this project by a specific day. And I remember, going to opening day for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and all the stairwells had not been painted, but
mm,
they got everything else done. And they were painting up to 2, 3 hours before the game started. And so it's a real day. So what do? Well, you make sure people are safe, make sure structure's good, make sure the playing field is there, make sure the seats are bolted in, and they
mhm,
got everything done except for like a few areas of the ballpark, being painted. So I think that being involved in those projects that had real deadlines, was very sobering for me to let me know that no real estate project is ever a perfect project. But I definitely believe, my wife has 25 years of real estate investment experience. I have 28. So between the two of us, we have over 50 years, and we've been through a lot. We've seen a lot. So
that's amazing.
some of it we can anticipate. Uh,
Mhm,
One challenge that we had was finding a GC that we were comfortable with. One GC we really liked, but his price was just astronomical. Um,
mm,
he was taking more of the profit that we knew should not be taken. Um, Another GC we talked to, not as bad, but was trying to gouge us on pricing, and my wife and I know better. And I have a good friend of mine, Kevin Dixon, who's a developer in North Carolina. He introduced the idea of building, these larger properties, and he actually told me what it should cost us per square foot. And he's like, Jay, if they're charging you more than this per square foot to build, the
mm,
to rob you and go find someone else. So fortunately, our architect has had some really good connections, Lifestone Consulting, and they introduced another GC, Mike Farrell, Farrell Construction, that we felt comfortable with, and Mike's doing a great job for us so far. So you have to. I would say that was the biggest challenge is getting to the budget that we knew it should be. And
Yes.
having someone like my friend Kevin Dixon that's done this for over a decade, letting me know, Jay, this is how much it should really cost you per square foot to develop a nice property. So he was very instrumental in the budget side of things.
And honestly, without this is one of the three pillars, the budget, being able to build within budget, and also being able to generate profit. And what you just said, it just got me thinking how important is to be surrounded by those that already been there. They can guide you throughout the process, and at the same time, you will be able to make a good decision, right? Something that will work, as opposed to just being random. Okay, let's see if that works. Hopefully that works.
We'll do that. Another thing that's extremely helpful for my wife and I is we're members of a really great real estate investment group called the Boardroom Mastermind, and
Mhm.
it's about 250 of us spread out through the U.S. and Canada, and it's run by a gentleman by the name of Kent Clothier and his staff, his wife Seema, and all the other people that help run it. Great people, Eddie and Kyle and Sean and all the ladies that keep us in line. It's a great environment for us, and we meet on a quarterly basis.
Oh, that's awesome.
We don't talk about how great we think we are. We actually talk about what challenges are you having in your business,
Hmm.
and we help one another solve those challenges. So having members in the room chime in, give great advice, share technology, share strategies, um, share the mistakes they made. It's a wealth of knowledge that we can tap into while going through the process of building these homes. So that's been very instrumental in us, progressing and redeveloping these properties in Redington Beach.
That's amazing. I love that. I'm definitely going to take, I mean, that mastermind that you guys have, and every quarter, kind of like a
Yeah.
accountability, I'm assuming, right? Being able to brainstorm and help
Well,
each other.
you're held accountable. Everyone gets 30 minutes. We're like 20 per room, so we're broken up into multiple rooms, but it's all recorded. And then
Mhm.
you get access to the library after each quarterly meeting. So you can't be in every room, but you do get access to the library. And so the wealth of knowledge that you can gain from the library is just incredible.
That's
And and you build some great friendships. Um, my wife and I built some great friendships. They'll be lifelong friendships.
wow. I love it. And what about you're also an energy consultant? Have you
Yeah,
implemented
in the
any of that?
past, yeah, in the past, my wife and I have done some energy consulting work. So we're always cognizant of when we're building something or renovating something, that we're looking at the latest materials that are available that we can use to make the properties as energy efficient as possible. So
Mhm.
these luxury homes have great insulation. We built overhangs over some of the quote unquote hot areas of the house. We built overhangs to create the shade. Architect did a phenomenal job, and our architect, Gil Livingston, just told me like, Jay, if this would be a lead, your houses would be lead. So if they had lead for residential, you would be lead. But the Florida building codes kind of require that,
Okay,
as you know, because it gets so hot that you really make the homes energy efficient. So we're very proud, to build energy efficient homes. That's something that's very near and dear to Jules and I. So it's
that's
important.
definitely a plus when someone is thinking to buy a new house, and then you have sustainability and innovation behind that. It's a good investment. That's for
Yes,
sure.
yes. Those electric bills can be quite costly from April to October.
Absolutely. And what about the impact in the community with the Redington Beach project? What do you think it will bring to that specific community?
I think that what it'll bring to the community is it will bring visitors and owners that want a different type of, additional amenities. So they may want, my wife and I, we really look at how can we create microeconomies for our team members. And that's something we really focus on. And we've done that for a long time. And so we're excited to have a different type of visitor that is going to come and stay in these homes, that are going to want grocery delivery. They're going to want a golf cart. They're going to want, other amenities. They're going to want a massage therapy appointment at the house. So we have a tremendous opportunity to create microeconomies for other small business owners and other vendors that can provide these amenities and services to our guests. So that's something that we're very, very excited about.
I love that. What about as an entrepreneur? You have been this journey for over 2 decades, getting close to three. What advice would you give? I'm not talking about anything about the age. I'm
Got
getting
to be
there.
tough. You got to be tough. It's rough and tumble. It's real estate is rough and tumble. But I grew up in the inner city of Los Angeles, very rough and tumble. I played, sports growing up as a kid, rough and tumble. I played high school basketball. I played college basketball. I played pro basketball. So my whole life has been, rough and tumble. And I think that's that toughness that I have in my DNA, that toughness I got from my parents, that toughness I got from my older brother, that toughness I got from my coaches and my friends, is carried over into business. It's not easy sometimes, but really what I do for my family and I do for my community. So, I have two daughters, two beautiful daughters, and, we have our son, Brandon, and I never want to let them down. And all three of them are interested in a real estate business. They're all investors. They all work in the family business. My 21-year-old daughter, Taylor, is in the process of getting her real estate license, even though she's a college student.
Good for her. I'm
Um,
so glad she's doing that. It's
yeah,
gonna open a lot of doors.
she's an investor. And my 10-year-old, she goes with my wife, works at the properties. She texts me her invoice when she's done with the photos to show the work she's done. And
Are you serious? That's awesome.
she wants to be paid. She wants her cash. She wants her cash. And my
Very
son,
smart lady.
yeah, and our son Brandon, he's always been like the engineering inspector type. So when he was little, he would go into the properties and flip the light switches on and off to make sure the lights work, and turn the faucets on to make sure the water is running properly, open and close the doors, check the closet doors to make sure they were open and closing correctly. So he has like that engineering mind, property inspector type. So
I love it. So it runs in the family. If you were to share one philosophy for toughness and as an entrepreneur, what would that be?
you just got to realize it's all hard. Whatever you want to do in life, it's all hard. So you have to pick something you're passionate about. Don't
Hmm.
don't pick it for the money. And this is what I share with our kids is don't chase the money, chase your passion. You chase your passion, the money will come, because it's going to be some tough times, and your passion is what keeps you going. In 2008, 2009 was very, very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah.
We did one subprime loan, one, just one. Didn't abuse the system. It's a great neighborhood, great area, only one subprime loan. And we ended up being collateral damage of people taking out tens of millions of subprime loans. So I really learned in 2008, 2009, you can do everything right and still be collateral damage.
Mm,
It took me a while to figure that out. So you can do everything right. You can do everything fundamentally right, not be greedy, not overreach, and you still can be a victim of collateral damage. And you have to understand that.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because with all the changes, there is a speculation. But I also think that regardless whether it's a corporate job or an entrepreneurship venture, I mean, everything has its own risk. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of being mindful to deal with it as opposed to reacting.
yeah. I have close friends that work corporate for as long as I've been an entrepreneur, and they've had serious battles. They've
Mm,
lost jobs. They've done nothing wrong and lost jobs. They've been victimized by corporate politics. They've had a new management team come in and wipe out all the great work they've done, and so it's corporate America is brutal too. So it's
yeah.
all hard, and you just have to pick your passion. And like I said, your passion is what keeps you going, in my opinion.
I love what you said. Don't chase the money, chase your passion, and then the money will come.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
true. It's true.
And what about any future projects outside Redington Beach for now? Do you have anything on the horizon?
No, our focus, we have a lot of exciting things we want to do in Redington Beach. We really feel as though we can have a positive impact on the community, um, building these new construction homes that are desperately needed. A lot of the housing stock was built in the 1940s and 1950s. So the new housing stock is desperately needed, and we want to do our part in build that new housing stock. You know, we have a 4,000 square foot model of building now. Our architect is designing a 2,500 square foot model as well. So we'll have two different models that we can offer. And we just want to make sure that we have a positive impact on the community. And also, we want to create these microeconomies for these small business owners, these entrepreneurs, and these vendors, which is something my wife and I have been able to successfully do over the years.
Great. And what about for those potential buyers? Is there any unique feature that your project offers or something that they should keep in mind?
Yeah, I think comfort is important. Our architects took a lot of time designing the home to make sure that it was comfortable. As I mentioned, my friend Kevin Dixon, he's built these homes before, and he had a lot of input with our architect to making sure they were comfortable. Like having two living rooms, like that's important. You know, have two living rooms, make it comfortable. A lot of a lot of a lot of homes in the beach community don't have pools because you're so close to the beach. They're like, why do you really need a pool? So having a pool, a mid-sized pool, it's not an extremely large pool, but having a mid-sized pool where that day people don't want to gather their kids up and make it 2 blocks to the beach, where
Mhm.
they just want to kind of relax. They can take the kids, let them get in the pool, and they satisfy that water play for the day. But comfort, we really went for comfort. These homes can sustain, you know, a Category 4 hurricane. The windows are hurricane impact windows, so you can shoot a 2x4 out of a cannon at the window, and you know it won't break. So safety is very important to us. So we want to build a very safe home, and it's all block. You know, sometimes you can do block on the first floor and then wood in the upper floors. These are block all the way up. So it's
Great.
kind of like a fortress, yes. But it's comfortable. You know, it's comfortable. It's going to be very nice, comfortable design, and having 2,000 square feet per floor gives you a lot of opportunity.
No, I see so many highlights from your project. It's sustainability, innovation, location. You
Yeah,
have like a style. What is not to like? It's just one of these, and it's just a very few houses that you're gonna have on the market. It's not like the entire large
yeah,
500 community. This is
mhm,
a very very small niche for those that are
mhm.
very much interested in Redington Beach.
Yeah.
So that
It's a very small niche because there's only 600 homes in Redington Beach. Um, we're building a product that people currently aren't do not have access to if they want to come in and experience the neighborhood from a short-term rental standpoint before they buy or before they build their own. So we can offer that experience. What we hear from a lot of luxury realtors is, I want to bring people to Redington Beach, but this type of buyer wants to experience the community before they make a $3.5 million purchase. and your properties will allow them to come and stay for a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, really get to know the community, and then make that determination of, yeah, we would love to buy here. So we're trying to do our part for those luxury realtors that have really struggled to offer a product that their clientele can come in and live comfortably and get to get a feel and get to know the community before they make their purchase.
Wow. What about, when are we wrapping up the project? What is the forecast on readiness?
The first 3 will be done in the next 75 days. So we're pretty close. As I mentioned, the windows and the doors will be installed next week. I believe that electricians are done with their rough in, HVAC rough in's done. So really drywall's up next. And then they're gonna get the scaffolding up next week as well, after the doors and windows go in, to start doing the stucco on the exterior of the home. So getting close. Pool guys coming up real quick. I think the second week of March, our pool guy is going to start. So yes, it's pretty exciting.
I'm definitely gonna go and visit.
We'd love to have you come and visit.
Yes. Well, Jason, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all these great ventures that you're working on. At the same time, for sharing your passion for entrepreneurship in real estate, which is, I know for a fact, is not an easy market. Like you said, we have to be tough and we just have to go on regardless.
Yeah. It's very rough and tumble. And as you mentioned before, it takes a team. My good friend, Joe E. Banks, he finds good properties for us. We've worked together for the last 6 years, and he does a great job of finding deals like Alexis. Phenomenal property management, partner. Leslie runs that. We have operations manager, Rachel, who's phenomenal. We have a team, our construction manager, Zach. So we're very, very, very fortunate, to have a really good team, and we work as a team. So that's important.
Great. How people can contact you directly in terms of having more information for Redington Beach project?
Sure. So I have a Instagram account. It's Jason Matthews, RE, short for real estate, RE investor. And you can DM us there and just tell us what you need, and we'll get you the information. That's probably the most efficient way to contact us, is through my IG account. And my phenomenal executive assistant, operations manager, Selena, will see what's needed, and we'll make sure we get you the information that you're asking for. We also post on there as well to show, what we're doing and progress. So you see video, you see photos, you see all that kind of stuff, the progress we're making on the properties. And then you can also go to our website. Our website is 16redington.com.
16redington.com. What I will do is I'm going to add the information of your website and your Instagram on the posting of this video, so anyone can actually ask for more information. If you guys are looking to move to Central Florida, make sure you check out Redington Beach, this awesome project. And then Jason Matthews is also on LinkedIn, so you can also follow him on LinkedIn. You can follow me. We are connected there. So there is a lot to do here, and I'll see you soon. But thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate your time and your effort and just giving me the most precious thing, which I think it's one's time. It's I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been great. I always try to just share information and knowledge and motivate people to get out there and chase their dreams. I mean, we only live once, so you got to go after it. Yeah, you have to get out and go after it.
All right. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you very much.